What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes. Another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Thursday. It's 9/11. That's right. It's been 24 freaking years since the terrorist attacks on New York City, since 2001. God dang. We have a pretty important video topic to talk about today, one that is hitting the United States and the nation in a very big way. We're going to be talking about the death of Charlie Kirk, okay? There's other things that you guys wanted to talk about as well, which we'll do after the end, but I'm thinking let's just kind of get into it because I think that's the reason why a lot of you guys are here. Before we get into it, a quick disclaimer, okay? Relax. Relax. I know some of y'all holding your breath watching this and being like, oh man, stressed out. Lower the... Where's my cats? Where's my cats? Here's Chase, okay? Here's the grumpy cat. Relax, y'all, all right? We're going to talk about what happened. We're going to stick to the facts. I'm going to let you guys know what's objectively happening around the world. I'll give my thoughts and all that stuff, but chill, because I know a lot of you guys coming into this video with some anxiety. So here's the anti-anxiety boy. As you guys can see, my classic I sleep with recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about. Tweet from Twitter, you know, and then, you know, you guys got here. We got think before you sleep saying bro napped through an assassination. No, I did hear about it. I did see that it happened. Okay, I was saying bro tweeting this knowing full well what he's going to talk about tomorrow. Come on. Come on, Charlie Kirk shot dead at Utah University, ignoring the elephant in the room. Okay, look, I got it. We're going to talk about it. Let's talk about objectively what has happened, okay? If you guys don't know who Charlie Kirk is a conservative political activist. He's a commentator and also an author. He founded an organization called Turning Point USA back in 2012, which is a non-profit org that advocates for conservative values on high school and college campuses. Charlie Kirk is known for his outspoken support of Donald Trump and often appears on television, radio, and podcasts to discuss lots of politics. He hosts the Charlie Kirk Show, where he promotes right-wing commentary on current events and culture. Critics often describe him as a polarizing figure due to his confrontational style and spread of controversial claims. Despite all of that, he built a pretty large following amongst a lot of young conservatives, and he remained one of the most influential people in the US right-wing politics as of today. Yesterday, if you were on Twitter or any social media around the afternoon time, okay, there was footage of Charlie Kirk, basically him being at the Utah campus and essentially talking amongst people where he got shot, and a lot of people had a lot of different footages of it, both from far and up close, and it was a really bad watch. Essentially, he's sitting there, he's chatting, he's talking, and then you see his neck just literally explode with blood pouring out of it after he gets shot, and he slumps over to the left. Oof, it's something that I wish I could sometimes unsee. After the shots went down, okay, they arrested this dude. All right, a lot of people were wondering if this is the guy who did the shooting, okay, but he has since been released, so no, it's not the old guy. If you guys keep seeing any pictures of an old guy from this thing, it's not him, okay? He was not the shooter. There is, however, footage of people saying that they did see and find the guy who shot Charlie Kirk, that there was some dude on a roof from 200 yards away, okay, that's 2 football stadiums away, sitting there posted up on top of a building.
Get right up.
Yeah. You think he'd already be in place?
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying.
Huh.
He just ran from over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in. And now he's right there.
So somebody saw what looks like could have been the shooter before the shot actually went down. There's another video here, which I'll show you guys as well, that shows a person in the background running on the roofs after the shot went down and everybody started panicking. So this is everybody getting down after the shots got fired. You probably didn't see the guy. Okay, I will come back. Take a look right around this region right here. Right there, that speck shows a person moving, running from here to there. You can see them kind of moving while rotating. So somebody caught somebody on a roof running away after a shot got fired. After the shot got fired, okay, Charlie Kirk got picked up and put in a vehicle and was basically being rushed to the hospital, and people were hoping that he would pull through, but I believe he probably died on shot on site, because again, that was a it was a shot straight to the neck. All the blood came out. It's really bad. As you guys can imagine, shit hit the fan. Okay, Charlie Kirk's death ignited a whole bunch of freaking responses. You had people on the conservative party who were blaming the left. You had people who were celebrating and saying rest in peace Bozo for Charlie Kirk and some of his previous comments that he's made. You had comments going everywhere, but everybody was on the internet and tension was extremely high. It still is. After the event took place, President Donald Trump, he responded and said, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Millennia and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Prior President Barack Obama said, "We don't know yet what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife, Erica, and their 2 young children." So through this portion of the video, I'm going to go through some of the biggest replies that I've been seeing on like Twitter and other places of social media as well. People responding. Okay, you got Asmongold, okay, one of the biggest political streamers, gamers in the world. Okay, he's basically said, "Anyone surprised at what happened to Charlie Kirk hasn't been paying attention? Go anywhere, Reddit, Twitter, etc., and you'll find thousands of unhinged direct calls to violence over politics. Until it's addressed for what it is, things like this will continue to happen." With Elon Musk in the comments replying and saying yes. And reply to Asmongold's tweet, some people replied and said, "Hey bro, you advocated for eugenics." Another person saying, "Less than a year ago, you said that Muslim people deserve to be genocided." This tweet went viral. I don't know who this person is. I think it says, "Hi, Elin Alili." I don't know exactly who she is, but she said, "Stop trying to shame people for not mourning Charlie Kirk. He wasn't just a conservative we disagree with. He was a fascist organizer who built his career spreading racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, Islamophobia, xenophobia, and anti-immigrant hate, actively harming marginalized communities every single day. If you feel compelled to send his family condolences, fine, that's your personal choice, but don't turn around and scold others for refusing to shed tears over a man who dedicated his life to dehumanizing and endangering them. This doesn't make you a better person, and if you're a Christian, it doesn't make you closer to going to heaven. It just shows you don't stand for anything." Where were your sympathy posts for the thousands of Palestinians killed in Gaza, deaths Charlie Kirk celebrated and justified? Where's your compassion for the immigrants torn from their families by ICE, an institution Kirk defended? Where's your energy for the trans kids, the Muslims, the black and the brown communities he spent his career attacking? Empathy is not owed to oppressors. Mourning is not mandatory. Pretending that civility in the face of fascism makes you morally superior is nothing but cowardice. Y'all give me a headache. This person here said, "If Charlie Kirk was killed by a black, it would have been all black people are violent thugs, but since it's a white person, it's the left." And then they're selling a shirt that says Charlie Kirk and has 2 eyes on it and says Second Amendments. Good Lord. Ben Shapiro, he replied. He said, "Like all of you, I'm utterly stunned and heartbroken and sick to my soul today. It is unimaginable to write these words. I met Charlie Kirk when he was 18 years old, a young man so eager and determined that I immediately turned to a friend and said, that kid is going to be the head of the RNC one day. Charlie became even bigger and more important than that. It was a privilege to watch this principled man stand up for his beliefs and create the single most important conservative political organization in America. But more importantly, Charlie was a good man, a man who believed in right and wrong, who stood by his biblical values. All of us will miss him, and I can't imagine the pain of his beautiful young family, and we must all pray for them. And we must pick up the baton where Charlie left it, fight for the things he believed in so passionately, and we must fight for a better America. An America where good people can speak truth and debate passionately without fear of a bullet. I weep for Charlie's family, and I weep for my country today. Most of all, I weep for Charlie." This person said Charlie Kirk isn't a martyr. He's a casualty of the violence he incited. This person here said, "How is Charlie Kirk pro-life when he just died?" There's a lot of jokes and memes that are anti-Charlie Kirk. This person said, "Incredible to watch the Charlie Kirk shooting receive about 100 times more media coverage than Israel assassinating the Prime Minister of Yemen." You got Kira don't miss saying, or won't miss, "Charlie Kirk is a father and a husband. He is human. I don't care if you politically disagree with him. Nothing justifies this sick act." This person said George Floyd was a father too, and Charlie Kirk called him a scumbag. Mighty Keith is up in here. It says Charlie Kirk was a very evil man. He spent most of his career dividing this country with race-baiting rhetoric, defending pedophiles, and advocating for genocide. I will be honest and say it's hard to find sympathy for a person who didn't even see me as human. I don't think murder is even the right course of action, though. I will not miss Charlie Kirk, but I don't think he deserved to die. Hopefully this country will one day come together instead of feeding into the division most political commentators and figureheads warheads spew out. We have a clip from Asmongold, a minute and 30 seconds. Again, I'm showing you guys everything, left, right, up, down. All the information is kind of flying out from all sides right now. We're just doing a little bit of information gathering, okay?
Giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to fully and with complete freedom practice genuine terrorism on a daily basis, and then, you know, congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because of something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, you know, their, you know, like icons that they look up to, the same way people looked up to Charlie Kirk, you know, until they start seeing those people get killed, I don't think it's really going to be real for them. And unfortunately, I think that's the path that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other seemingly governmental apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So the death of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of him should not come as a surprise to anyone. This should be something that everybody could have expected. All you had to do is read Twitter for an hour and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. Same with Reddit. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type of social discourse. And I'm actually kind of afraid to see what's going to happen next, because I think it's just going to continue getting worse, and I don't see the reason for it to stop.
Okay. The responses go on and on. The critical drinker saying whether you agreed with him or not, Charlie Kirk is dead purely because some people didn't like what he had to say. That should outrage every single one of us. Alex saying, look, I hate Charlie Kirk as much as the next guy, but like, that's kind of a waste of a political assassination. I gotta be honest. This person saying people want sympathy for Charlie Kirk's incident, but him and his supporters never showed sympathy for those pushing to fix gun laws after countless school and mass shootings. Now he's become another example of why gun laws are needed, and this is the brutal truth of America. This will be the last batch that I'll read out to you guys. Okay, Charlie Kirk recently said to a Palestinian that there's no such thing as Palestinians. Well, now look, there's no longer such a thing called Charlie Kirk. This one person said, don't let Charlie Kirk's assassination overshadow Israel bombing 6 countries within the past week, and even more evidence of Donald Trump being on the Epstein files. And then you got Dean Withers. Here's my thoughts on Charlie Kirk's death. I've seen this kid around here before. I think he's somebody who kind of does the political commentary space on the left side.
Charlie Kirk is dead. He got shot at an event that he was hosting in Utah. And I am sad, distraught. In fact, I just cried on my live stream in front of 250,000 people. My goal in this video is to tell you why I feel this way. If you want to end gun violence, it is something that you can never celebrate. It is always disgusting, always vile, and always abhorrent. It should come as no shock to yourself when I tell you that I think Charlie Kirk was a bad person. I've made that very clear over the last year, but does that mean I think he deserves to lose his life? No. Does that mean I think his 2 young children, who were in attendance at the event where he was shot, deserve to watch their father die? No. Does that mean I think they deserve to grow up without him? No. Does that mean I think that his wife, who was also there, deserved to lose her husband? No. And honestly, if you answered yes to any of those questions, there's a very clear line drawn between me and you. I don't want your support, and I don't support you either. We as a collective need to end gun violence, and if that phrase is negotiable for you, I believe that you're in the wrong. My thoughts and prayers go out to Charlie Kirk's friends, family, children, loved ones, as well as every single person in attendance at his event today in Utah.
All right, so that's Dean Withers. Last but not least, okay, because the shooter is still at large. I don't know if I probably should have told you guys that earlier. They have not caught the guy who did the shooting, right? Okay, so they haven't found him. People are trying to figure out who he is, and now the conspiracy theories are beginning. Now, I would like to say, when I say conspiracy theory, I mean it's like the internet detectives trying to figure out and piece together what might have happened with the information that they have. It's not like conspiracy theory where we're believing in something that happened back in the 1800s or something like that. People are trying to figure out who done did it. This person here said, after seeing Trump's response and how quickly they had it prepared, I am pretty convinced MAGA just sacrificed Charlie Kirk in an effort to save Trump from the Epstein files and wars he can't stop. So a lot of people are pushing the narrative and saying that this could potentially have been a sacrificial lamb, and in a way to kind of offset the attention from Trump. And the whole concept of the Epstein files, I don't know. I was actually going to cover that. The whole thing that came out about the book from Epstein and this picture of Trump writing a dress and then some signatures and then giving a check to about a woman who has been depreciated. It was wild, right? But this news has kind of like overshadowed the concept of people trying to see if Trump is in the Epstein files. If so, how much and when will it be released? But here they're saying that there's a dude who was giving baseball signs while still standing perfectly to the side of the bullet track. Only confirms that things aren't as they seem and the shooter vanished. We shall see more information, but I doubt this was a liberal, right? So now people are saying that the shot, and I'm not going to show it to you here, okay? Because I'm not going to show you no graphic stuff, okay? It's really bad to look at. Some people are wondering, was this an inside job, okay? Was this an assassination that was created, like I just said, as a sacrificial lamb? Question mark. People, because what's happening now is that as soon as the person died, Charlie Kirk, people started just blaming the left, assuming that the person who killed Charlie Kirk was somebody on the left or somebody who hates Charlie Kirk, right? So here's the video, okay?
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great.
So yeah, these were this guy doing the hat and fixing his hat, and then this guy started patting his arms, right? I don't know. I don't know about signs. There are a lot of people in the comments who are military who are saying those are signs. Those are literally it, which means that this was not a one-person job. This was a multi-man job, right? And they're all they look like white people too. So so there's that. Play it again in case you guys missed it.
Do you know how many
He does this thing with his hat and he fixes it and tips it. He's holding up his phone, kind of like recording him.
shooters there have been in America?
He does something with his face, I suppose. I mean, you know.
Over the
But then the
last
guy
10
next to him looks
Counting
over
or
to
not
the
counting
left
gang violence?
and goes boom, boom, boom. That is a sign that I don't know what that is, but that looks kind of sus, right? It doesn't look normal. So, okay, we looked at a lot. Okay, the things that I haven't showed you, by the way, is there's a lot of like videos of Charlie Kirk saying like some wild things, like some of his like the biggest moments when it comes to interviews or debating, and people being like, look, he hates black people, or look, he feels this about guns, or he's saying that we should sacrifice, people, kids have to die in order for gun control. Like people just basically just saying like, look, this is the reason why no one's caring or no one's crying. And you have other people showing some positive things that he's said as well. Like, hey, look, here's some advocating for this. Here's some advocating for that. So that's kind of what's also happening here. I'm going to skip that part for you and go directly to Donald Trump. A 4-minute video where Donald Trump has decided to address the entire country about this death.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight, all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the 2 young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today. And it's
important to pause. Okay, that's the part where initially the first 2 minutes was Trump just talking about Charlie Kirk. Here he established and says that the radical left, okay, is responsible for the tragedy that happened with Charlie Kirk. Their rhetoric of saying that people who are right wing, you know, if you're conservative or right wing, that you're a fascist or you're a Nazi. This is the type of rhetoric that has led to the death of Charlie Kirk and the violence that's currently happening to him right now. So this is a direct proclamation on and saying that this is a problem from the left.
Must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
All right, so that's Trump's speech on Charlie Kirk. Saying that, yes, the death of Charlie Kirk is just the beginning because his thoughts and his voices and his opinions will be louder than ever before. After the speech, I believe it was as of this morning, Donald Trump has announced that he will posthumously reward Charlie Kirk with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Also important to note, on the exact same day, and this one's not getting much attention and notice, but it said here that 2 students were wounded in shooting at an Evergreen High School in Colorado. Suspect dead, officials say. September 11th, on the same day that Charlie Kirk got shot, there was also a school shooting. Also, apparently, there's already violence has been erupting here. It says here in Boys Vigil for Charlie Kirk after a scooter clash. Okay, hundreds gathered at the Idaho State Capitol in Boise on September 10th, 2025 for a candlelight vigil honoring slain conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated earlier that day at Utah Valley University. The event turned chaotic when Terry Wilson, the leader of the local Black Lives Matter chapter, disrupted the crowd on an electric scooter, shouting insults and triggering a physical altercation. Attendees clashed with him and amid chants of USA, forcing police to intervene and restore order, underscoring the nation's deepening political division.
This guy's gonna get fucked. Some guy.
Yeah, it's not safe on these streets. So guys, that kind of wraps up the Charlie Kirk situation. That's kind of what you need to know for right now. And I will let you guys know further developments that comes from this situation, because I can guarantee you there will be a lot coming from it. Okay, everything that I've told you so far and shared with you was from all different realms and all different beings, the objective information. I'm not trying to filter any information for you guys or selectively give you information. I'm letting you know what's happening all around the world. Okay, here are my thoughts. Number one, I really hope the shooter's not black. And I say that as a joke to kind of relax you guys, to calm you guys down, to get your nerve system a little bit down. But also, I kind of also mean it as well. Like, it doesn't look like he is, right? But like, I just don't need that to happen in my life right now. I really don't want that. Okay. I think I read some statistic that said that like when it comes to like these assassinations or school shootings, usually it's a white male. That's usually how it works. I think it's like 4 times more apparent for it to be a white male, but than black people. Everyone has done some school shootings, but in this specific situation and instance, if it was a black person, right there, it would, oh my lord, it would be really bad. So I just want to say, very glad so far. Every time there is one, I'm like, please God, don't. I know I'm joking, I'm having fun with you guys, but for real, I think about this every single time there's a school shooting. I'm like, oh God, please don't be a black person, please. Comedy aside, I have a pretty strong feeling that I know what's going to happen, like going forward. Okay, I think it's just basic human psychology at this point. Number one, I think people are going to use Charlie Kirk's death to basically push their own agenda. As of right now, we don't know who shot Charlie Kirk, okay, and we don't know why they shot Charlie Kirk, okay? However, people are already jumping to conclusions that kind of already support their confirmation bias without having the full information because that's what people do. I think people who are already racist are going to use the situation to kind of just be more racist, or people who are already hateful are going to kind of use this to be more hateful. They're just going to use it to kind of feed into what it is that they already feel. I think political leaders and speakers and people on TikTok, okay, everyone's going to use this, right? Use Charlie Kirk's death to continue to fuel their agendas and their motive. I think it's going to be an absolute shit show, and there's going to be a monstrous amount of just ingenuous rhetoric being spewed everywhere on all spectrums. My guess is that the actual truth, like the real truth, right? Like not what you see, right? But what actually happened will probably never be revealed now that it's this big and that we've got Trump talking about it, okay? Even prior to Trump, okay, I've never been a really huge fan of the government. I felt like there's been a lot of corruption and lies and deceit in this end, okay? Now we have this whole thing with the Epstein files that continue to not be released for whatever reason. I don't trust, all right? There's been no transparency that established that allows me to look at what's happening with the government and believe what they're saying. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I really hate politics, even though I know how important politics is, because I could be wrong, but I truly feel like it's filled with like disingenuous, self-serving people who are trying to benefit themselves by using unintelligent and very impressionable people as their fuel and as their source. That's kind of how I've always viewed it. I think that's how life works in general, and it's not a game that I've been kind of liking watching from the outside end. Number 2, on Charlie Kirk's death, okay, I don't really celebrate people's death, okay? It's just not me. It's just who I am, okay? If you guys been watching me long enough, okay, I don't crip walk or nothing on people's graves. Whenever I say this or respond with this, there's always someone somewhere saying like, hey, Omni, so you're saying that if Hitler died, you wouldn't celebrate his death, ? My response to that would be a very nonchalant, fuck you, right? Because I can see the manipulation at play, okay? Trying to equate the fact that I don't feel feelings of joy when a person is assassinated or killed with, am I a potential Hitler sympathizer, it's par on the course, right? For how people kind of like debate in a way that's just kind of like unethical. But again, it's exactly how I feel like people interact these days. What I'm not going to do is sit here and tell you guys how you at home should feel. Okay, I'm sure there's a lot of mixed feelings that you guys are having while watching this video or while watching this news. And no, I'm not going to tell you what emotions that you should be experiencing as a human being. That's just not my place. Your feelings are your own, your experience is your own, your life is your own, okay? And they're all valid. With that said, I do understand why people do feel happy or sad or mad or even indifferent about Charlie Kirk's death, okay? I'm not here to challenge any of that. I can empathize with everyone because I'm pretty good at empathizing, and I do sympathize for Charlie Kirk's children who lost their father. I'll also say that I do see the irony of Charlie Kirk's death. There's some quote that's going around that talks about Charlie Kirk and his very strong like approval of supporting the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, right? And then he died by said arms. Gun control and violence seems to be a very strong proponent of the arguments there, where he supported it, but he also died by it as well. The irony is not past me. But yeah, that's not personally how I want to use my energy. Okay, that's just me though. Me saying who I am is not an attack on you. Okay, please try to understand that. Number 3, I'm definitely not interested in the whole let's assassinate people that we disagree with type camp shit. I think assassinating people like Charlie Kirk will essentially just kind of like make him a martyr to a lot of people. I think it will radicalize more people. I think it will empower people to kind of double or triple down on his values, but kind of with more vitriol and hate and probably a lot more violence. And I'm pretty sure it will just simply spawn and birth a lot more Charlie Kirks. Regardless of what Charlie has said though, I do believe in the power of speaking and debate and communication, because without speaking and debate and communication, as humans, we would just go back to communicating through just violence and killing each other. However, the irony again of that is not beyond me or past me, because in America, that's kind of what we already do. We are already killing people, whether it's in the United States or another country. We've just always kind of prided ourselves in our ability to eradicate people. It may not be a fancy assassination attempt, right? But there is a lot of power amongst words, okay? You know, the whole, you know, the pen is mightier than the sword thing kind of thing. It's real, right? Like if you have the right tongue, okay, you can slice way more people than if you just had a freaking single sword. The tongue is a very strong weapon, if not one of the strongest weapons in the world. And there's a lot of people who basically see what's happening right now with Charlie Kirk and America, that there is a war going on, that people are fighting for their lives in different ways. And that's about it. I think I have a lot more thoughts that it's interesting, right? I feel like when it comes to the space of politics that my opinion doesn't matter. Most people's opinions don't matter, because I really do feel like people just sit around just waiting for people to basically repeat what they already feel and hear. That's kind of what I feel like that narrows down to is, will you say the things that I want to hear? Because if not, then you are wrong and I don't want to be a part of you. Do not subscribe to what I'm saying, okay? I am a pessimist when it comes to humankind, okay? I don't believe in big groups of people, right? I believe in individuals type shit. So when I see all of this happening, I see how people are going to move, because there are certain people who are very good at getting people to move, and really to get to the point where you can have free thought, independent thought, to actually think for yourselves. And it requires too much. There's so many ways that social media and the news is trying to keep people, like, I would say, suppressed and unintelligent and not smart, so that they can't come up with their own answers, so they could be more easily to kind of move around. That's kind of how I feel about it. You don't want to ask me questions about the establishment, because I don't really like, I don't think it's a good thing. Hey guys, that's the death of Charlie Kirk, okay? My sympathy and condolences goes to their 2 daughters and the wife, and you guys can let me know how you guys feel about this subject in the comments below. My guess is there's going to be a mixed bags of emotions, okay? Mixed bags of everything. I will keep you guys updated and posted on what comes from this, because I am guaranteed that there will be a lot of things happening in America after this death. There's a lot of civil unrest right now. And actually, I think we're just going to cut the video today. We're just going to make this one a one and done. I know there's some news about the Nintendo Direct and some other things as well that I'll save, okay? I'm going to be in New York City this weekend. So please, I can't tell y'all to, like, you know, don't get up into any trouble or nothing, but every time I disappear, oh my Lord, okay, just make sure this weekend that y'all stay safe out on these streets, because these streets are not safe. I love you guys, okay? Man, the world is an absolute kind of shit crazy place right now, especially in America and in the entire world as well. But I don't want to, you know, fear monger you guys, okay? I don't believe in the concept of just being moved by fear, right? I believe in the concept of being prepared, being ahead, seeing events as how they play out and getting ahead of it, okay? Being a little bit more stoic in nature. If you are a little afraid, that's fine, okay? But I think that everything is going to be deja vu. We have gotten over worse situations. We're just going to have to analyze what's happening, and that's what I'm going to do so that you guys can stay ahead of the things. All right, I love you guys. Now take it easy. Again, stay safe on these streets, because these streets aren't safe. I'll catch you guys on Tuesday. That's when I'll be coming back from New York City with another video. All right, I love you guys. Y'all take it easy. Peace.